What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Addy Ads here, Anakin Skywalker, YouTube's chosen one, coming to you with a book review. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and something I will continue to do. Now, my criteria is pretty simple. It has to be a book that I have read, and it has to be a book that I've read somewhat recently. If I read it before and I love it, I'm trying to make myself go back and reread parts of it, because there are often ideas that are missed, even among the classics. So I do think rereading is important, but I'm just letting you know that so you know I'm coming from a place of authenticity in I actually have read these books. Now, the first book I want to review is actually Life Lessons by Shaun Attwood. Shaun is a London-based author and activist who spent 6 years in medium to maximum security prisons in Arizona for drug trafficking, ecstasy from Europe to the United States. He was facing 200 years in prison, but got off after 6 years of time served. And this book, Life Lessons, are 10 lessons that Shaun has formulated from his life experiences, being in and out of prison, in the stock market, the success he's had there, moving from England to the United States, getting kicked out of the United States and going back to England. So these stories that he supports these lessons with are real from his life, and moreover, they're quite entertaining, because it's hard to believe that one person went through these situations. And it makes it a great read too, because not only is it helpful information, helpful philosophy that people can use to apply to their life, it's also fun to read too, because of the entertaining aspect of it. It just feels like you're joyriding sometimes, and Shaun's having a lot of fun on the joystick when he writes, and it's crazy because, as I said before, he's writing from memory, from his experiences. So I just want to go over these lessons really quick. There are 10 of them, and the book is organized into 10 chapters, each one based on one of these lessons. So the first life lesson is make slow and careful progress. And each lesson is followed by a quote immediately, and then the chapter which relays life experiences that support those lessons. I won't go through an entire chapter, of course. This is just a review, but I just want to go over the lessons. Lesson 1 is make slow and careful progress. Make haste slowly. Gaius Suetonius Tranquillus. Lesson 2 is help others. Those who are happiest are those who do the most for others. Booker T. Washington. Lesson 3 is value your family. Mother Teresa writes, smile at each other. Make time for each other in your family. Lesson 4, identify and overcome addictions. Rule your desires, lest your desires rule you. Publius Syrus. Lesson 5 is learn from setbacks. We cannot learn without pain. Aristotle. Lesson 6, cherish life and the small things. There are only 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. Lesson 7, learn a relaxation technique. If a man insisted always on being serious and never allowed himself a bit of fun and relaxation, he would go mad or become unstable without knowing it. Herodotus. Lesson 8, let go of fear and anxiety. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. Lesson 9, learn to love the right person. Love is a fire, but whether it is going to warm your hearth or burn down your house, you can never tell. Joan Crawford. Take time for introspection. Lesson 10. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Carl Jung. So those are the 10 lessons, and I just wanted to revisit 2 of them because I do think they're quite pertinent to what is going on in the world right now, and that's lesson 8. Let go of fear and anxiety. Nothing in life is to be feared it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a scientist, the first woman to win the Nobel Prize, the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in more than one scientific field, and the first person to do so as well. And to this day, she is still the only woman to do that feat. I think this chapter and this lesson and the supporting quote and who it comes from is pertinent because of this pandemic, and coming to understanding about the facts of what's going on is difficult, yes, but essential to managing and controlling our fear. And the other lesson I wanted to revisit was lesson 3, value your family. Smile at each other, make time for each other in your family. Mother Teresa. And I will now read the concluding paragraph to this chapter. When a catastrophe befalls a family, it can bring you closer together or pull you apart. You blame yourself or you blame each other, but in the end, you have to accept what has happened and give each other support. Here's a quote from a letter I wrote home during my second year in the jail. Shaun wrote, "One of the themes of the philosophy books is how short our time on earth is. How when we die, we don't get to take our material possessions with us. To love and be loved by our family and friends during our brief lifetimes seems to be the point of the ancient philosophers." And with that lesson, I wanted to conclude this review, and my rating system will not go according to numbers. Currently, it is a work in progress, but this is what I got so far. My lowest rating is strongly discommend, followed by discommend, recommend, highly recommend, and required reading. My rating for Life Lessons by Shaun Attwood is required reading, guys. I do think this book is that good. It's a modern philosophy book in a sense, and it's written in a way that is colloquially understood. There's not a whole lot of academic jargon at all. There's no philosophical jargon. So while you may learn a couple new words, one or two, maybe you won't learn any because you're that smart, it is written in a way that anyone can pick it up and read it and glean useful information from it. So I highly recommend it, guys. Check it out, buy it, borrow it, whatever you need to do to get your hands on it. It's a great book, required reading. So that is the end of this review of Life Lessons by Shaun Attwood. Be on the lookout for more reviews in the future, and stay sharp. Cheers.